Hey friend, Andy Jenkins here with the Amplify podcast. Today, let's talk spreadsheets, math, automated math. You don't even have to do the math. You just kind of plug the stuff in and boom, there it goes. Okay, let me tell you where this came from. A couple months ago, I had a client and he told me, he said, and by the way, I asked him if I could use him as an example in all this training. He said, go for it. I asked him what he wanted to achieve. He said that he wanted to make $1 million because if he made $1 million, he could then turn around and give away a lot of money and make a bigger impact. Not only an impact with the people that he was coaching and training and teaching, but also an impact by funding some things through his church, through other mission endeavors, through some nonprofits that were close to his heart. He wanted to earn money to, benefit his family and set them up long term, also to make an impact. Again, his goal, make $1 million a year. And so he asked if that was possible. I told him, well, sure, it is. But what we need to do is figure out what are the offers? What is it that you're going to sell that's going to get you to $1 million? Okay, what combination of all those products and programs do we have, and how many of those do we need to sell? And if we're going to sell that many, how many people does it take to even look at the offer on a sales page or in a presentation? How many people have to look at that to take action? Because everybody that looks at it doesn't buy. If our conversion rate is 4% of the people who look at the page make a purchase, how many people do we need to get to look at that page to make that purchase in order to sell that many products or programs? Oh, well, then we got to back up and go, well, how many leads do we even have to direct to that page? So we started just plotting all of this out, and it really showed us that, you know what? It's actually far more doable, not overwhelming, but far more doable than you think. And so today, what I want to do is I want to, in light of the previous 2 podcast drops that we've shared. And so go ahead, you're here, listen. But if it kind of doesn't make sense, or if you're thinking, all right, well, that does make sense, but what exactly is he talking about? And how do I get this menu of products? And where are these 8 questions or categories coming from? Just go bump back after this, listen to the previous 2 episodes. You're going to be up and running. I'll also say this episode is probably better visually. And so what you may want to do is drop into Amplify Pro. There's a link down in the show notes, or you might want to go look at the blog post that kind of corresponds with this. There's a link there in the show notes to that as well. Take a look and let's see if you can start putting the pieces together. We're here to help so that you can platform your message, get paid for what you know. All right, here's the training. Where to take action? What are the offers? What am I going to sell? Whether it's book, course, mini course, all that kind of stuff. You've got to do the math on a spreadsheet that updates itself. I mean, this is the spreadsheet that we looked at earlier. It's not fancy, it's basic. And at this point, I think what you need is basic. So let me show you some personal brainstorming. And let me just kind of emphasize what this could look like in the real world. Okay, so here's some numbers from Amplify. This is not what we make. This is like brainstorming, dream projecting. Okay, so right now, got a book. That's the big fat Amplify book with the audio book. I'm just saying the profit is $10 per. And I'm going to go into the weeds in this because, if I go into the weeds on mine, you can go into the weeds on yours. I got a mini course, $50. A self-study, the framework, $1,000. Now you see where I pulled that out, right? Community, you can join Amplify Pro. $50 a month or $500 a year is kind of the sell price. So it's available at a higher price, but let's build the projections off the lowest price. The coaching group. So that's a mastermind. Don't even do it yet. About to start it. $500. Consulting. So we do that. Monthly rate 1,000. Training people's team. So that's coming in and walking with them, like I highlighted, in the examples above, $3,000 a month. So that's kind of fractional communications expert. Speaking per event, $5,000 is the rate. Not doing that right now. One-day workshop, $5,000 is the rate. Not doing that right now. Contract work, monthly retainer, $4,000. Not accounting for any of that right now, but you do know that we have several clients at different pay rates based on the amount of work that we're doing for them. And so what I'm looking at right here is projecting, hey, what if now it's not like we're going to get rid of clients. I love working with clients. But what if I did? What if I pivoted? And what if we just said, okay, we're just going to coach and we're going to lead people through this. They can do the work themselves. So right here, profit per. If I sold 20 Amplify books, that's $200 a month in income. If I sold 4 mini courses, that's $200 a month in income. If I sold 2 self-studies a month, it's $2,000 in income. If I sold 20 memberships a month to Amplify Pro, that's $1,000 a month. Now that's a repeating, so it's like, it's not 20 new, like if I had 20 members is what I'm saying right there. So ideally, you'd add a few members each month. You always have a churn. You have some people coming in, some people leaving. If I had a coaching group, a mastermind, and if I had 6 clients at a time, this is not 6 new, 6 paying every month. It's $500 each, $3,000. If I had 3 clients at any given time paying me $1,000 a month, $3,000 is the total. If I was training somebody's team, so I say I'm going to do 1 at a time, it's $3,000 a month. So that's $3,000. If I did, well, I didn't do any speaking events. So look, there's the total income. That adds that up, $26,000 a month. Okay, if we eliminated contract work and just kind of focused on content and coaching. You see that? So here's the deal. The problem that keeps people from hitting, that's a great income, that keeps people from hitting that is most thought leaders focus on revenue only. Revenue is a lag measure. A lag measure, as we define in other modules, is the result of a lead measure. What we want to focus on is the lead measures, not the lag measures. So here's the sheet that I just highlighted. Let me show you a different sheet where I've updated some numbers here. And let me just kind of show you right there. These are the lead measures on the right. And in fact, let's just do it like this. Let's just bump it. Let's just go. All right, let me take that off and let's just put them here. And let's just do this and let's just go back. Let me show you. That way we're working like we're comparing apples to apples. Here's the dread of doing it like in real time live, right? All right. So notice this right here. All right. I want to focus on the lag and the lead measures. So the lag measure is the revenue. The lead measure is how many people need to take some sort of step towards me, and then how many of those can I convert to actually purchasing something. Okay, so notice, let's look at it. Let's go back up to the book. If the book conversion rate is 5%, 5% of the people who take a look at the sales page buy the book, that means if I want to sell 20 of them, I got to have 400 eyeballs on that page. That's the formula that I put in right there to do it. Okay. So 400 eyeballs hit that page, 5% buy. That means 20 buyers equals right there, $200 income. Now, I'm not going to walk through all of these, but notice like some of these others, the consulting's probably a better number. 10% convert because they're probably people that are bumping up the value ladder. They've already bought the book. They've already bought a course. So they're moving on through. So if I get 30 leads and 10% convert, I can have 3 of them become coaching clients. And actually the rate's been a little bit higher than that for us, but you want to build these off of industry averages. And if you hit the industry average, you go, okay, it's working, it's in place. You don't want to get too janky with it and mess it up too much. Notice, in order to hit that $26,000 a month, I need 1,000 leads a month. Now, some of these leads are already on my list. They're just unengaged. Some of these are new leads that could come to me. Some of these are, maybe people that are referred to me. Like there are all kinds of ways to reach these leads, But I've got to focus on, in order to hit this income, the lag measure, I've got to go, how many leads, what's the behavior on the daily that's going to lead to the lag? The lag always follows behind. So that's where the name of it comes from. Now, what I did note on here is there is usually a higher ticket offer having a greater conversion percentage because a couple factors. One is how the prospect gets to that point. Generally, they've already purchased something or they're already familiar with my process. So there's already been some interaction. There's usually an existing relationship either with them or with someone who's worked with us. They've referred to us. And so they've sorted themselves as either in or out by that time. Now, I want to take another little shot here and I want to show you what would happen on this if we just adjusted a few of the numbers and we said, okay, let's maybe sell some things differently. What would occur? So now notice here, on a previous one, I think we had sold maybe 4 mini courses, 2 self-studies. Notice what happens here. If we go from fewer mini courses and maybe more self-studies. What happens if we change some of these numbers on the coaching groups and some of the masterminds? What happens is, well, we need more leads, but notice how the income can change just by adjusting some of those numbers. All right, now I want to show you here what happens on this projecting business income if we change some of the data. Because this is really what we want to do. We're targeting our income, we're building out the business plan, kind of showed you how to do that so far. But right here, when we start putting these offers together and then projecting, okay, how many do we need to sell? Let me just shift. Okay, so here's one number. Look at the bottom right there, the bottom line, the monthly income on this projection, 26,400 a month. I need 1,080 leads in order to do that. 56 customers is what you see. There's or 56 products sold. So some of these may be purchased by multiple customers. Now, let's just make a huge jump here and let's go, all right, let's just mess with some of the data and say, all right, we could, with 64 customers, by selling more products, we could hit 34,000 a month. Let me show you what I did. This right here, you're going to see this kind of shifting around if you're watching. This is cut from the data of the first chart. So what I've got here is the number to sell. Now notice I'm still selling in this update 20 of the audiobook book, 4 mini courses, the self-study framework. If I can bump that from 2 to 10, that's $1,000 a month. So that brings in $6,000, $8,000 more income, $8,000 more income. If I can just keep all the other numbers consistent, notice what that just did right there. The monthly income right there shifted in that column on monthly income. It's the third row from 2 to 8, meaning it bumped up from 26,000 to 34,400. So just a little bit of brainstorming there as far as what could possibly occur. Let's look at another way to get there. So in this chart right here, we've changed the number 34,800. Now there's more products sold, way more leads. Let me show you how we got to that. Basically, what we did here is I've just shifted some stuff around, and let's just pull these columns together. Number to sell. I've now sold 30 books instead of 20. It's a low ticket offer. I've now sold 10 mini courses. Would probably use that as a bump or an upsell on the book. So that's 6 additional. I've sold 5 self-study frameworks instead of 10. So I'm just kind of messing with the numbers a little bit, see what happened. 50 people in the monthly coaching community instead of 20, 8 in the mastermind instead of 6, 5 doing consulting one-to-one instead of 3, training the team. Well, now I'm doing 2 instead of 1. So I added speaking in this one. So let's say I don't want to do 1 a month at 5,000. I want to do 1 every 2 months. So the income from that averages out to 2,500 a month. So you can kind of see what's going on here. Again, this orange, if you're looking at the screen, it's just highlighted to show you where we began this entire thing. More customers needed or more transactions, more sales, but the income shifts significantly. There are different ways to get there. And again, it's looking at the lag and the lead measures. The lag and the lead measures have to change in order to get you there. So the lag measure is the transactions. The lag measure is the income. The lead measure is the daily work of, ironically, in this, it's just getting the leads. Now, let me show you another example that we can look at. This is one that I've got from permission from, the person that we've worked with, the client. This is Rob and Shannon Malcolm. They have the Rise Up framework. They own a successful branch of Exit Realty. It's Exit Realty Birmingham. That is theirs. They also have a house flipping business. They also have been part of 1,200 real estate transactions. They've overcome homelessness, drug addiction, jail stints, all of that. We've talked about them in other parts of our training modules. Rob came to me one time and he said, I want to make $1 million a year so I can give a whole bunch away. How do we do that? And so, based on the offers they have and looking at their framework and looking at, okay, how many of these different things do we actually need to sell? And it's not just, again, look back at the numbers that I put together for myself. It's not just how many do we need to sell, it's the lead measures as well as the lag measures. How many leads do we need to get in order to do that? And I'll just tell you right here, if you mess with these conversion rates a little bit, and if you get a better conversion rate, it's going to mean more money. It's going to mean you got to have less leads if you get a better conversion rate. So you can mess with all of this in multiple directions as you start building out your business plan. And really, you should. If this, then what happens? If that, then what happens? So here's what I built out for Rob. They've got a book, first row, with bumps and upsells and audio. And I'm estimating this low. I like to estimate projections on sales low and estimate expenses on the higher side. I don't like to estimate the sales on the best case scenario and then just assume, oh, we'll get a great deal on all of our expenses. That doesn't work. So the book and audiobook profit per, I'm saying 5. It may be closer to 10. If it is, that just changes this number. Okay, so you just kind of input it in right there. And I'll give you access to this slide with the formulas if you want to input it, or you can create your own in an Excel document or numbers document, and maybe even tweak it yourself a little bit. You might want more columns, to where you could see, hey, if I do this, then it's this. If I do that, if it's that. Maybe even an additional column with the conversion rate. These are, I believe, solid conversion rates that you can depend upon and look at. All right, so mindset course. It normally retail $100. So I'm going to build my projections off of the sale price of 50. If we sell some at the higher rate, awesome. But let's don't build our best case scenario off of having to hit that retail rate. A Rise Up Empire course. This is his renovation course teaching people how to flip homes. We retail it for $3,000, but it does go on sale for $1,500. So we're going to build our projections off $1,500. The Rise Up Empire community. So the course is self-study. The community is for several months. You're in this coaching network and you get access not just to the course, but you get access to the live calls. It retails at $6,000. We are going to run a sale on it at $5,000. So we're going to build our projections off that. And if we sell some at $6,000, oh, great. That just boosts the bottom line. Rise Up Empire Coaching, $12,000. Now, again, these are all the same elements in the framework. Rise Up One Day Workshop at your business location, $6,000. Rise Up, he'll come and install the framework in your business, teaching others how to renovate. Notice, no projections on either one of those right now, because we're not doing it. At some point, we'll implement it, but not yet. Our first goal is just to get this thing cranked up. There's another offer, Shannon's Forms, for real estate coaching, contract systems, processes that she's implemented at their real estate brokerage. We'll sell those at $500, and then she's going to shoot some video. And when that's ready, we'll launch it. But we're not waiting until we've got that in order to start rolling stuff out. So let's start messing with some numbers. Look, if we sell 250 of those books, it's a low ticket item. It brings in $1,200. The bigger deal, though, is the leads that it generates, where it can move people from there as buyers to the mindset course. Now, I'm assuming 5% of the people that hit that landing page will buy that book. That means we need 5,000 on the far right row there, far right column, in order to hit the page to make $5 a book. But look, let's just say for some say, let's say only 3%. Well, man, now I've got to have 8,000 leads, right? But that five I think is a good number, so we're gonna stick with that here. The mindset course. Let's say we're selling 50 a month, $2,500. Third row. Let's say we're selling 8 of that course. That's 12 grand. Now, if early on we go, well, we're probably going to sell 4, that drops it a little bit. If we say, well, the Rise Up coaching community, I project 4, but what if we only sell 2? That's 10,000 a month. If the Rise Up Empire coaching, if he sells 1 a month, okay, that's 12 grand a month. What if he just sells 1 every 2 months? Well, that's it. You see what's happening with the income here. We still can build this thing out and move forward from where he is to where he wants to be. This is completely doable with everything that they have going on in their ecosystem. So, we drop some of these numbers, we mess around, you start looking and go, okay, I think this is achievable. I think suddenly it's doable. Remember, his thing, I want to make $1 million a year. Well, 27 grand a month is a good start, but it gets you to, let's just do the math. Let's pull out the calculator here. It gets you 27,000 times 12. Some of you are probably better at math than I am on the fly. $324,000. 324. Now, what if we boost this thing up and go, okay, bigger goal. I've just changed the numbers over here. I haven't really changed the conversion rates, but you can mess with this and go, okay, what if we sell 500 books? What if we sell 100 mindset courses? What if we adjust this? If the number that we need to get to in order to make $1 million a year, let's just look at that and we say, all right, let's divide that by 12. What's the magic number? It's about 84,000 a month. So, I got some latitude here. So if I sold, let's just say I sold 300 books. And let's say I sold, 50 courses. And let's say I sold memberships to the course or courses. Let's say I sold 15. And let's say out of that, maybe 5 people were in the group. And maybe out of that, just one coaching client a month. Now that's a little low, so I need to adjust it. But it's you can see what's going on here. I've got $76,000 a month to hit the million. It really needs to be at 84,000. And again, this is if you're looking at the screen. If you're listening, I get it. You're kind of going, "What in the world's going on in the background right there?" What's going on in the background is I'm just adjusting these numbers and going, well. If I sell 400 books, that's not going to get me there because that's a low ticket offer. And so if I'm selling a lot of books, I need to use the book as a first step leading people to something more. So really the sweet spot becomes, how do we hit some of those high ticket items? Now, I do want to direct you down to the bottom here. What I have done in this one is said, well, Shannon has released her course. So we're not selling that $500 form thing now. What we're selling is the course. The course, we're going to sell 5 of them a month is what we're guessing early on initially when we release it. If I sell it for 1,000, we're at that 77,000 marker a month. If I sold it for 2,500, oh, there we are. We're at 84,000 a month. That gets us to the million a year. And so we don't want to just look at this number though and say, well, 84,000 a month, we're done. No. We need to look over here at the leads. How many leads do we need to sell that many books? 8,000. How many leads do we need to sell those memberships into that community? That's the 4th row. We need 100. So when I was talking to Rob about this, I told him, I said, here's what you need. Okay. So again, the question is, I want to make $1 million a year so I can give a bunch away. How do I do that? My answer was, here's the plan. But in order to do that, and he'll tell you straight up, what I said was, you need 10,000 qualified leads in addition to all the systems and processes in place. So there it is, the bottom right corner, 9,930, 10,000 qualified leads. And as we start churning that, all right, we can do it. We can get there. So there we are. Now, here's the cool thing about networking is if you do it and you do it well. He was at a mastermind and he knew that's what I need. So that's the lead measure, not the lag measure. Everybody gets so enamored with the lag measure when they build the business plan. What he needs is that lead. So he was at a networking event, and he and Shannon were at a mastermind conference this last week as of the creating of this and mapping this out. And they're kind of talking to people, hey, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need to grow your business? And he told everybody there, he said, hey, we're about to release this stuff. And I was just trying to figure out what do I need. And I told the guy that's putting all this together. Okay, that was me. He said that I need 10,000 leads if I want to make $1 million. And while he was up there talking on the stage in front of this group, one of the guys who was there looked over at Shannon, his wife, who was sitting there. Shannon runs the real estate brokerage. She is the broker. Rob runs the house flipping renovation business. He looked over at Shannon and said, that's all you need is 10,000 leads? Well, I've got 400,000 contacts right here on an email list, 400,000 that are all real estate agents across North America. And I will give you that list. Now, that's great. Now, it's not a qualified list yet. They're all in that space. They're all agents. Some of them email addresses are probably dead now because they've changed businesses or locations. Some of them may not even be in the industry. We've got to warm up that list, and it's going to take a while to do it. But we are already rolling on that based on knowing what he needed in order to hit that milestone. Okay, so that's part of the beauty of building a business plan. It's part of the beauty about being surrounded with other people. It's part of the reason why we go back to, when I talked to you about the core value, about being intentionally relational, is we want to make sure we get the right people in the room because we can interact. And a lot of times you get the right people in the room, you find out that the person who's leading a discipleship ministry has the answer that the person that's doing real estate needs. And the real estate person has the answer that the plant shop person needs. And the plant shop person has the answer that the church leader needs. And the church leader has the answer that the life insurance guy needs. And the life insurance guy has the answer that the book writer or the coach, content creator needs. It all kind of symbiotically works together. And so there.